G'day everyone, it's Matt Rard here, host of the Digital Investor Podcast, and today we have two very special guests, Megan and Tim, all the way from Edmonton, Canada. Welcome guys, thank you so much for coming on.
Awesome, glad to be here.
Yeah, now you guys have got a really interesting story because your journey is a little bit different from other members in our community where, well, you started out like everyone, non-technical, but Megan, for you, you've fully embraced this and now you work in tech. So today, guys, what I want to do is share your journey because there's been some interesting things happen along the way of your journey as well, and get some lessons off you guys or some insights from you guys of how people can make this transition to digital skills and earning money online. So, like I said, thank you guys all the way from Canada. Where give us, these days you fully work in this tech space. You're a full-time working as an SEO, Megan. Now, it didn't start like that. Where did your journey start?
Yeah, that's right. So I started in communications for not-for-profit agencies. So before doing the Champions program, I was working at an agency that supports refugees to Canada. And
wow. Oh, yeah.
It was great. It was really good. But the burnout was very real. And I needed a career change. So that's when I started looking around for what options are out there.
Okay. And then Tim, for you, what's your background?
My background's it's always been marketing. So I used to work in the like mining, oil and gas, energy sector, and now I work for the utility here. So currently I'm the brand manager for our utility, and it's a $1 billion company. So I guess I work in, like you guys say, big corporate. So I do marketing for big corporate is my background.
Yeah. So Tim, I'm guessing like a lot of, I mean, really, when you think about it, you guys, besides being a lot younger than our usual community member, I'm stirring all of us in our community here, but you guys are very typical of our community members. So the both of you in professional roles. Tim, you're in a pretty full-on corporate role. Do you work long hours, Tim?
I try not to.
But you do though.
Sure.
And so Megan, like you said, you're in a role where working not for profit, but very high burnout rates in that space. So when you first started with us, what made you make that change decision? Like what was happening there? You wanted a change? Were you looking for a change? What led you to learning these digital skills?
Yeah, absolutely. So we kind of stumbled upon e-business. So we were listening to a podcast actually, and what we had decided to do was we had some money set aside and we were like, let's buy a website, not really knowing the skills to do it. And then we listened to this podcast where you and Liz were guests, and we're like, hold on.
Well, let's go see what they're talking about.
Let's put on the brakes on buying a really big, expensive website without knowing what to do. Check out eBusiness, go through your courses, and then figure it out. So we are so grateful that we did that, because we probably would have spent like 40 grand on a website, not knowing what to do with it and burning it into the ground. So instead, we took some of that money, invested it properly in education and a network, and
well done.
Yes.
Next. What was the podcast? Was it I think it was Empire Flippers podcast.
I think it was Empire Flippers.
Yeah, you guys might have been a guest on that.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And then, because once you got into it, did you start out in our program learning how to build websites? Was that pretty much?
Well, just the timing, only for, what was it, like a month. So we signed up for the web dev program, and then it seemed like a month later you guys had your kickoff, the 2-day event. So we go to this event and everyone's talking about like, what are champions? Like we had just no clue what we were doing. And people are like, well, just today with the event, they'll explain it. And we're like, oh, that sounds good. Let's do that. So
Awesome. Yeah. And because what's important is, I want everyone to hear this, because this is where your story, guys, is going to be really inspirational for everyone, because we do have like I said, you are typical clients or couple on our program, as you know. And in that age group, what happened amazingly in reasonably soon into your journey with us.
We had a baby, our first baby.
Oh.
So the Champions program started in September, and we had Roman in December, and yeah.
Yeah, so lots
And
of life changes in this time
Yeah.
frame.
and so Megan, at that stage, were you still working? You're on maternity leave, but what was your plans in life then? Because there's going to be a lot of younger new mums listening to this. How did you guys handle that transition period to where you are today, doing this full time now?
Yeah, so at the time, I really had an expectation that I would spend my maternity leave building websites, selling websites,
Yeah,
flipping
all that
websites,
free
all of
time while
that,
your
all the
baby
free
naps all day.
time. Like I'm on maternity leave. All I have is
Yep.
time on my hands. So
Yep.
with that extra time, I was going to do all of this. And then at the end of my maternity leave, I wasn't going to go back to the not-for-profit that I worked at.
Yep.
Um, that didn't quite play out, but life has a way of working out anyways. So I'm still really happy with how it worked out, but I did have to adjust my expectations along the way for sure.
You don't have as much
Hey.
free time as you think.
Yeah, apparently you don't. Babies are quite needy.
Yes, that's right. And when you're a new mum, it is important to realise that it can take up a lot more time than you think. And as you know, guys, we have lots of new mums and dads on our program. We have lots of champion babies born, and it's fantastic. And what I'm really impressed with the two of you, you're such go-getters. Like Tim, you're full on in your role. But in that first year, you guys built sites, you had a look at buying sites, and you participated in all the lessons, and you reskilled. That was the main thing. And I think for you, Megan, it's worked out really well, because can you share with everyone what you now do? Now it was only 2 years ago.
That's
So
right.
because life's changed quite dramatically, not just from being a mum, but how did life pan out for you over these
Oh my
two
God.
years? What do you do now?
So many amazing changes. So I did, because of e-business, I did a huge career jump. Now I'm an SEO specialist at a marketing agency. So I do SEO full time. It's wonderful. I'm
Wow.
learning so much every day, and I'm applying all of those skills to my websites. So
That's perfect. And did you ever expect to do that? Like, this is
no,
actually
no.
I'm presuming, for two of you, as you just mentioned, you came onto this to become your own entrepreneurs and have your own business, but your outcome is you got a full-time job 2 years later in SEO in a
Yeah,
big digital agency.
yeah, absolutely. And like I don't feel like a failure at all. Like even even though it's like I'm still working for
Oh,
people, like it's
yep,
still so successful. I'm still doing what I love. I work with people that I love. And like yeah, for sure eventually the goal is to transition away from that, but
yep.
because I'm doing this by day and I'm learning so much at work as well, it's just so beneficial for my future. I'm really setting myself up for success. um, Tim and I recently sold our house, so we have a little bit of extra cash. So that
Yep.
original plan of buying a big website, we're going to be doing now, but now we have the
Now we know what to do with
foundation
it.
to do it, and it's just
Yep.
a much better idea to do that right now.
So you've trained with us for 2 years. You're full on reskilled in digital. The two of you build amazing sites. Like, you're really good at building and SEOing websites. And not only that, though, you're kind of continuing on your own education by actually working in this space. And Megan, it's the opposite of failure. You're mega successful when you think about it.
Mhm.
Literally, remember what I said to you the other day when we were on a Zoom call? Did you ever expect 2 years ago to be working for? This is not just a small SEO company, is it? It's one of the biggest ones in Edmonton. Is that right?
It's definitely one of the biggest ones in Edmonton, and it's one of the most sought after in Western Canada. So
Wow. So,
yeah, it's
and you're a total
incredible.
beginner. You work for not for profits. Never.
Yeah.
So, did they know that when you got the job? How did you get this job?
Yeah, so I really leaned hard into the skills that I gained through e-business. During the interview process, I actually showed them some of the sites that I built in the program, which was
Cool.
fantastic.
Yep.
And some of our clients are not-for-profit organizations. So for them, it was a really good mix to have that experience that I can offer, or that like perspective that I can also offer the client.
Yep,
So
perfect.
yeah.
And
Mhm.
now that you've got that role, like what did they say about your skills? What were they expecting? Like, did you go in mindset wise? Did you think, you know, imposter syndrome? You've never worked in this space, or like what? I'm just interested. What was going through
Yeah.
your mind at the
Yeah,
time?
oh, totally. I was like, I'm a fraud, I'm a fake, they're gonna catch on. But like, I've been there for many months now and no one's catching on. So I must be
Well,
good. Yeah,
come on, Megan. You've been trained by the best, and you are
I
the
know.
best. Come on,
Yeah.
you guys are awesome star students here. So
Well, it's really cool, Matt, because one of my the first things that I worked on was keyword research for a client, and it was exactly how
It
I
was
did
within your
it.
first couple of days, and like you just breezed through it. 'Cause
Yeah, I was like, oh,
there
I've
you
got
go.
this. I know what to do. So
Yep. So
yeah.
you do realize like all of us SEOers are self-taught. Like there's no actual formal course. You can't go to uni and learn SEO. So
Hmm.
now that you're in this role, and I want anyone listening to this podcast and who's started out on a journey with us and who may be working through our Web Dev Accelerate program or our Digital Investor program or Champions program, I think I want anyone listening to this to realize that what we teach here is not officially like you can't do formal courses in it. And Megan, now that you're in there working for this big SEO company, obviously you breeze through the interview. They must have been impressed to give you, like you said, it's one of the most sought after SEO agencies in Canada.
Hmm.
Now that you're working there, are you finding it's pretty easy? Like what you've learned through the Champions program, is it pretty easy to work in SEO every single day in a big digital agency now with your knowledge?
Yeah, yeah. I would say it's relatively easy for sure. I would say one thing though, like there is a lot to learn. There's still so much to
Yep.
learn. Like it kind of feels like an endless amount of SEO, especially on the technical side. Like I'm always learning about Google Analytics 4,
Yep.
um, UTM tracking, all of that.
So it's probably, would you say it's a little bit more technical what you do day to day in a big agency?
Yes, yeah. But they're so supportive of that. They know that my
Yep.
strength isn't necessarily like the technical aspect of it, but
Yep.
I have time set aside for training. So if I need to like
Awesome.
really dive deep into analytics, that's no
And
problem. I have the time
and
to
I
learn.
and what sort of clients are they putting you on? So you're brand new at this. What are you getting to work on big websites?
Oh yeah, it's
All right.
huge. So like one of the biggest real estate brokers in Edmonton, our children's hospital, a
Okay.
couple not for profits. So yeah.
Wow.
yeah,
So
with people in real estate.
Hmm.
okay. So again, pretty impressive. If you must pinch yourself on the shoulder. Like, seriously, think about it. Well done. 2 years ago.
Absolutely.
So it's not like you've gone to uni and spent 4 or 5 years and done a master's and a whatever. You've come out within 2 years and landed one of the best SEO jobs in Canada
Yeah.
from learning practical digital skills, like what we teach you and what you guys build. Because one of
Hmm.
the sites that you guys build, do we want to give it a plug, Tim? What's your passion? What's one of
Oh,
your
sure. Massive. I built one that's a heli skiing, cat skiing website, and it's a directory
awesome,
site.
awesome? And so you're obviously in Canada. You guys are keen skiers, or I'm heli skiers. I'm presuming
Well, I wish I could be heli skiing all the time, but
Skiing,
yeah,
yes.
skiing, yes, heli skiing all the time, not as much as we'd like, but maybe it's a
yeah,
future point.
yeah. So you've built this, and was that so? Tim, was that your first site that you built, or that you've been perfect, or it's the main one that you've been perfecting?
It's the main. I don't know. I might have. It was all a blur of site building that first year,
Yeah,
so it might have been the
yeah.
first one. I don't know if it was the first. Definitely wasn't the first that I finished. Might have been the first that I started.
Yeah, so you guys went for it, and actually, I'm interested too, Megan. Now, you had Roman, and you're on. At first, you had like all these plans for maternity leave, right?
Yeah.
Were you both of you then at that point thinking you're going to do a digital agency strategy, or were you still very focused on the portfolio strategy, like buying and selling websites, or were you thinking you're going to do all of the above?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just at first we're like, let's just do it all. Like,
Well, at the very first, we wanted to
Yeah.
do like the portfolio,
Okay.
and then And then we learned more about local. So
like, oh, that sounds good.
that
Let's
sounds
maybe
really
do
good.
local.
So it's a bit of like shiny object at first,
Yep.
right? Like, let's do this, let's do that. But then that added to the pressure during maternity leave, because it's like, I only have so much time. I need to focus,
Yeah.
but I need to pick the right one, and it has to be successful like right away. And so,
Yep.
yeah, I
Okay.
learned a lot that first year.
So in that first year, what would you say to someone listening now? Like what when you look back over this journey, because I remember reading your accountability emails and watching the journey you both have gone on, what when you look back now and you put it all into perspective, what would you say to someone listening to this?
Yeah, my number one thing would be to be kinder to yourself. If I could go
Okay.
back to Megan a couple years ago, I'd say, chill out, patience,
Yeah.
you're doing your best. Rome wasn't built overnight.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
just be kind to yourself.
because Tim, would you say Megan's a high achiever?
Yeah, probably.
Did
I think
did
so.
she load herself up with too much expectations, do you think? Like,
I think both of us did. Yeah, we were going
okay.
to
Oh
do
yeah,
it
so
all.
you're the same. Yeah. So because I want to say congratulations to you both, and this is why I wanted to interview as well, to realize. So at the time, I read your accountability and see you had a lot of pressure on you both. Like you said, you had this maternity leave deadline looming. You wanted to have it achieved, but congratulations, look at what you did achieve. You've got the
Yeah.
digital skills that now can change your life. You can go anywhere, get a job, get the best job, but it means you've got security for your family, but you're still building up assets in the background, and you'll be able to transition to that at some point. So big congratulations in
Thank
terms
you.
of your skills there, and in particular in terms of your skills. We need to mention little Roman, like when we're on that Zoom call or on a few of the calls, because digital skills, it seems like SEO is in the blood, literally in the family for the three of you.
I think so.
Yeah, we were saying that just because during that time, like we'd be watching the videos of Matt and Liz talking, and Roman would recognize their voices because it's us talking or them talking on Zoom in the house, and that's what we were worried about him getting an Australian accent.
Yeah, because I should mention to anyone listening what took me by surprise. I was speaking to the guys recently, and they had little Roman there, and he was really quiet, and then all of a sudden I started chatting, and he got really excited, and you put him on the camera to me, and he's kind of almost waving, and I was going, "What's going on?" And like you guys said, he recognizes my voice every Wednesday, and he
Yeah,
gets excited.
absolutely. He's
About
been hearing
SEO.
you while he was still in the belly.
Yeah, that's right. So he's grown up with Matt and Liz talking about SEO.
In the background.
So guys, actually, and for you, Megan, here's just another question. When you got into this, do you remember one of the first websites that you built? Like, was there any challenges for you? Because I know you look like you're a legend at this now. 2 years have passed. You're really good at this. You're super confident with not just SEO, but building websites. Can you remember in that first year, new mum, you're trying to learn all this stuff? Was there any websites that stood out for you that when you built?
Oh gosh, there were a few.
Yeah.
I would say I have a friend who owns her own painting company, so she does commercial and residential painting, and I completely created a brand new local site for
Yeah, it's
her.
like one of your first local sites.
It's my baby. I'm so proud of it, and she was so happy, and she's booked up, so it's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So it worked straight away it was very successful for her. Were there any hard parts in this journey as a new mum, like raising Roman and stuff like that? Like time-wise, I
Yes.
guess, or just trying to think, how can we help someone in your position listening to this today?
Yeah, I would say for sure time, but I think even more challenging than time was the energy.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's true, as a new parent, you're tired, and
You don't really sleep those first couple months.
no, sleep when baby
Yeah.
sleeps. Don't. That's terrible advice. But even if I had the time, it didn't necessarily mean I wanted to be sitting in front of a computer. Like I had
Okay.
other
Yeah.
things to do that were also a priority. And I remember especially like, oh gosh, probably the first 6 months, if I was with Roman, I would feel guilty for not being on my computer. And if I was on my computer, I would feel guilty for not being with Roman. So what I really had to do a mental shift with that. Like I can't just always be feeling guilty no matter what I'm doing. So when I'm with Roman, I'm with him and I'm present. And when I'm not, I'm present with the task. And I know that both are scheduled. Well, I'm not scheduling Roman, he's my baby, but like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yep.
Um, yeah, so I just had to really surrender to that guilt that I was just
Perfect.
constantly feeling.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I think you've
Yeah,
just helped a bunch of, because Liz went through exactly the same thing. And
really.
Tim, you and I would have, as partners, we always feel that as well. But Megan, I'd want to say that's what I was looking for, because we read about all the time. New mums always feel guilty
Yeah.
no matter what. And here it is for you. So for you, this is a big thing, right? Is there any advice you can give? Like, how did you manage that feeling of guilt? Do you just suck it up and handle it, or what was? How did the journey pan out over,
Yeah.
another 6 months?
Yeah, it wasn't sustainable to be in such a rut with mom guilt.
Okay. Yeah.
Nothing would have been working. So it's just a lot of self-talk. Like you're on your computer now, Roman's sleeping, he's good, you're focusing on this.
Yep.
Yeah, and also just scheduling things. Like I'm like,
Perfect.
okay, I know on Wednesday I'm doing web dev. It's
Good.
there. I don't have to be worried that I'm not getting to it right now because I know it's in my calendar, and that really
Yep.
helps. And honestly, like since January, I've been seeing a therapist
Yep.
just to like tune up my mental health a bit, and that's been
Good.
huge. It's been really really helpful. So
Okay.
my
There's
advice for anyone who's struggling, talk to somebody. Like that's the best thing
Yeah.
you can do.
Thank you. That is so helpful to share that. I think people need to hear that, or mums and new
Hmm.
dads as well. I won't forget us dads. But as you guys know, we have a lot of high achieving new mums on our program, and it is tough. It's really tough. And this is one of the things. If you're listening to this, we help people, through that mindset, because Liz and I have been through it. All of us have been through it, and it's one of the challenges that when you hear about these amazing opportunities, starting your own business or buying and selling websites and living the laptop lifestyle, people don't talk about, hey, if you have a newborn and you're starting a family, there's an extra level of complexity or
Yes.
challenges here.
Yeah.
And I want to say a big thank you, Megan, for today, for coming along and acknowledging that and talking about it, so that people go,
Mhm.
okay, let's get ready for this journey. But also to realize too, like looking at the solution now, 2 years later, would you change anything? Has it been a fun journey the last 2 years?
It's been so fun. I think the only one thing I would change is to stop comparing myself to other people in the program.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you don't know what other people are going through. You don't know what other
Yep.
supports other parents have. You don't know how long they've been doing it for. All of those things. Like if you're only hearing about like those successes, it could be hard. Like oh, like I'm trying. Why am I not?
And when
And
you're first building your website and somebody's like, oh, they just sold their website for $1 million, and maybe you're on that journey, but you're a ways away.
Yep.
yeah, so yeah, just like
Yep.
stop comparing yourself to other people. Like there are other parents in this program, but we don't know what support they have. Like
Yep.
But on the
you
flip
just
side, like we meet people just like us that are just like that next step over and they've done it. So
it's also really inspiring because like
yeah.
okay, like we can do this. If they do it, we can do it too. So
Yep. And I
yeah.
think, guys, that's why these sort of interviews are so important. Like you guys coming along today, so that all the listeners hear another kind of story with with your own unique sets of challenges and solutions and success. So like it's a really interesting success outcome here for the two of you. So Tim, you must be very proud of Megan.
Oh yeah, it's been a roller coaster 2 years. Like yeah, we had a baby. Megan switched careers. We built a dream house. We sold our old
Yeah.
house. Like, there was a lot that happened in quite a short time frame. And there was that COVID stuff.
And go.
Yeah. There was the COVID stuff as well. So a lot
Yeah.
going
Yeah,
on.
there's a lot
Yeah.
that's changed with us.
Yeah. And it's
And
so exciting to think about it from that perspective, because what are the next 2 years going to look like?
Yeah, like if the trajectory is still like this, like we don't even
That's
know.
wild,
It's already
right?
so good.
yep, that is, and that's what I wanted to point out to you both. Like, Sarah, you have to celebrate this moment in time where the last 2 years where you've come from, and that's why I wanted to interview you today as well. It's a moment in time for you both as young parents starting out, building a family, but also building a whole new, not just career change, but business and lifestyle for you both. I want to say a big congratulations. I think it's just the start. Looking at what you've already achieved, seriously, well done, guys. I want to say a big thank you for coming along today to share your story.
Thanks,
Just
Matt. That
amazing.
means a lot.